Hi folks, my name is Kelsey White. I am the career advisor for the College of Natural Resources and the College of Agricultural and Life Sciences at the University of Idaho. Today for video 1 on our USA Jobs video series, we're just going to be doing a little bit of an introductory walkthrough to USA Jobs for those who might not be as familiar with the website and with the platform and how to use it. And so that is going to comprise of walking through where to put your resume, your cover letter, your red card, your transcripts, all your application documents and personal information. We're going to walk through what that platform will look like to get you comfortable with that setup. And so now let's go over to the website and take a look at that hands-on and do a little bit of a walkthrough. Okay, so this is the USA Jobs homepage here. You'll see where you can type in your job title you're looking for, a department or agency. There's also this series, it's like a series code. I'll talk about that a little bit later. And you can also search by location if that is a preference as well. And so when you get to this homepage, there will be a sign in button here. I went ahead and signed myself in. It does usually send you a text code. So a little bit of a process of getting logged in there. And so when we move over to this page here, you will see that when you sign in, you're going to have these 5 tabs at the top here. And so your home page is where your applications and your saved jobs and your saved searches are going to be. And so it'll show you, here is where I applied. This is a current application status, right? Like you did not submit your application. And it would also give you the different credentials for this job, and you can go back and view the full job announcement from this page, which I think is super helpful. And I will show you how to save jobs here in a little bit. And so that's where some saved jobs are. This one I just have in here as an example. For later down the line, I will show you some things within that job. As well as saved searches, so you can type in a series code or a job title with a location and save that search within here, so you can just go ahead and access that. So once we move over to the profile here, this is where your personal information is going to be, very similar to a LinkedIn setup if you're familiar with LinkedIn. And so you'll have your address, your email, a phone number, and then all of your extra personal information, work experience, education, all that good stuff. So that is where you'll populate all of that in here on your profile. Okay, so once you get to your documents tab here, this is really where I want to focus in on. So you're going to have your resumes and other. And so the resumes tab, of course, is strictly just for your resumes. So you can upload an existing resume that you have, or you'll see it has this option to build a resume and use the USA Jobs Resume Builder, which I highly recommend using merely because it's going to give you everything that you need to apply. All the information that a hiring manager is going to want to see will be included on this. And so if you were to add a work experience, here's where you're going to see the things that are optional. And then if it's not listed as optional, it is mandatory. And so you'll want to make sure you fill in all this information very thoroughly. That way you can be considered for an interview. So my next biggest tip here, kind of a pro tip, is when you go in and you build your first resume, to title it with your name and have the word base in there. And so that is where you are going to essentially use this resume as your base resume for all applications, where you will populate and put in every work experience you've ever done with as much bullet points as you can think of all of the things that you did with your education, volunteer experience, and the list goes on. And so you use this as a base and then use this duplicate button here, which you'll see will pop up a new one that says copy of and then base. And so that way you know, okay, this is my base right here that I'm always going to keep with all my information, so I don't have to keep making new resumes. And then here you will edit, and then you can put in a new title, which I just recommend kind of putting in the job title you are looking for with your name. That should work. Update. So that way when you get back to here, you'll see the job title, whether that's wildlife technician, biological technician, electrical engineer, anything like that will populate in your job title, right, with your resume. And so that way when you know when you're going through the application process and you have to select a resume from your set of resumes here, you know which one to import. And next we're going to look at this other tab here. So this is where you will upload, right, any transcripts, undergraduate, graduate transcripts you might have, and also too, you'll want to upload any red cards you might have, or also a cover letter. And so that's where I recommend, right, just writing a cover letter in Word, and then you can go ahead and upload that document onto there and title it appropriately. And then here in our preferences tab, we will have different, travel preferences. Are you willing to relocate, desired work locations, types of appointments that you might have, right? So that's going to be a permanent position. Maybe you're looking for a seasonal internship type of a position, as well as full-time, part-time, and then you'll save those preferences. And so I do recommend either putting that to exactly what you want to narrow that search, or you can just put all, right, and just leave everything super, super broad. And then you can use some job search filters on that when you go in and are looking for jobs, just to keep your options a little bit more open. Totally up to you on that. And then of course, finally, the sign out button, right? So that kind of is self-explanatory. As for the job search side of things, we are going to dive into that in my next video here, as well as just like how to read a job description well, and then how to take your base resume and tailor that base resume to the job that you just found to really set that application up to get through that artificial intelligence system and get to hiring managers' eyes to give you an interview. So stay tuned and join me on the next one.